Good morning, students. Hello once again. I'm Rajni Kadam, PGTCS from KV number 1 Army Jodhpur. Now I'm discussing about the keys in DBMS. Now, what is key? As you can see, the keys are the elements or the devices which are used to open the lock of a particular room. Okay. Now, in DBMS, what are keys? We will learn in this about the keys. What are keys? Different types of keys such as primary key, candidate key, alternate key, and foreign key. Okay, shall we start? Now, what are keys in DBMS? As we can see that the keys are those devices which are used to open a particular lock. In similar way, keys in DBMS is the attribute or set of attributes. Attribute means columns. Keys in a DBMS is the attribute or set of attribute which helps us to identify a row or a tuple in a relation or in a table. We can say that keys in DBMS are those columns which are helpful for identifying a particular row in a table. They also allows us to find the relationship between the two tables. Okay, so we can use different types of keys in DBMS to uniquely identify a row in a table by combining one or more columns in that table. Okay. Keys are also helpful in finding the unique records or rows from the tables, or we can say that database keys are also helpful for finding the unique record or rows from a table. Now, types of keys in DBMS. There are several types of keys in DBMS. First one is the candidate key, or these are the important one is primary key, super key, foreign key, composite key, compound key, etc., and alternate key, etc. Okay. Now, what are these types of keys? We will discuss. We will have the brief discussion about these keys. What are these types of keys? Then we will discuss only those keys which are in our syllabus. Okay. Then there are several types of keys in DBMS, and each key has its different functionality. For example, first one is a super key. Super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identifies a row in a table. It may be the first a single key, or it may be the combination of multiple keys. Okay, it is used to identify a row in a table. Then primary key, we will discuss deeply in the next coming slides. Primary key is the column or group of column in the table that uniquely identify every row in that table. Okay. Candidate key, set of attribute which is used to uniquely identify a tuple in a table. Okay. This is also a super key. Primary key is also a super key, and candidate key is also super key. Alternate key is also super key. Why? Because all these keys are used to uniquely identify, these are capable to identify a particular row in a relation. Then alternate key, a column or a group of a table which is used to uniquely identify every row in that table is alternate key. We will discuss briefly here, and after that we will discuss deeply in the next coming session. Okay. Foreign key, a column that creates the relationship between two tables, is known as foreign key. The purpose of foreign key is to maintain the data integrity and allow the navigation between the two instances of an entity. Okay. Compound key, two or more attributes that allows us to uniquely recognize the specific record. It is compound key. It is possible that each column may not be unique by itself within the database, so we use a compound key. Okay. Now, composite key. Composite key is the artificial key which contains uniquely, which is used to uniquely identify each record, and it may be it may present in the single column, or it may present in the multiple column. Okay. Now, First of all, we will discuss about the primary key. What is primary key? Primary key is the column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in a table. Or we can say that attribute or set of attributes which is used to uniquely identify a particular tuple or a particular row in a relation is known as primary key. Okay, it means primary key can't be the duplicate meaning, or it must have the unique value, and it we cannot put a null value or empty value in the primary key field. Okay, so the rules for defining primary key, we have the example of primary key such as a roll number in your class. Roll number is the column which contains the unique value, and no student in your class will have without the roll number. Okay, so we can say that primary key is the column which is used to uniquely identify a particular tuple in a relation, and in the same manner roll number is a we can create the roll number as a primary key because it contains the unique value, and it alone is sufficient to uniquely identify a particular student in a class. Okay, so now the rules for defining the primary key. There are several rules to define the primary key. First one is two rows cannot have the same primary key value. There must it means every value in a primary key must be unique. Okay. Next, it must for every row to have the primary key value. That is, we cannot leave a primary key row empty. Okay. Next, primary key field cannot be null. The same. The value in the primary key column can never be modified or updated if the foreign key refers to the primary key. We cannot update or delete the value in a primary key if the existing value present in the foreign key. Okay. Now, example of primary key. In the in the following example, we can see the table here, employee table. Here is the table employee, and in this table there are several columns. We can see the employee ID. No employee will be there in the company who did not have an employee ID. So, and so we cannot put the employee ID field empty, and there are no two employees in the company which have the same values. Okay, so we can make this employee ID column a primary key because it contains the unique value and does not contain the duplicate value, and also does not contain the null value, that is empty value. So this is the example of primary key column. Okay, now candidate key. Candidate key is a column or group of columns in a table that uniquely identify every row in that tuple, in that table. Okay. So what is difference between the candidate key and the primary key? Because the same definition was there in the primary key. So we can say that all those columns or group of columns in a table, not only the single. Okay, all those columns or group of columns in a table which are eligible to become a primary key, these are known as candidate key. It means the candidate key also have the quality of primary key, but these may or may not be the primary key. Okay, so we can say that the columns or set of columns which have the capability of a primary key, capability to become a primary key, these are the eligible candidate of the primary key. These are the eligible candidate to become a primary key is known as candidate key. So we can say that, for example, in our student table, there is a column roll number and there is a column admission number. Both the column roll number and admission number, both the columns have the capability to become a primary key. Both contains the unique value, and both did not does not contain the null value. Okay, so both columns have the capability to become a primary key, so both are the candidate key. Okay, understand? Now what are the properties of candidate key? The properties of candidate key are just like the same to the primary key. It must contain the unique value. It may have the multiple attributes. If the single column is not efficient to become a candidate key, then we can use the multiple columns to make a candidate key. It must not contain the null value. It should contain the minimum fields to ensure the uniqueness, and it uniquely identifies each record in a table. Okay. Now, example of candidate key. Here is the my table, and here are three columns which have the unique value. Column ID, column roll number, and column registration number all have unique values. We cannot see the duplicate value in ID or duplicate value in roll number or duplicate value in registration number. All the three columns contain the unique value. We can make ID as primary key, or we can make roll number as primary key, or we can make registration number as primary key. So all these columns which are capable to become a primary key, these are known as candidate key. So we can say that my table contains three columns: ID, roll number, and registration number, which act as the candidate key. Okay. Now what is alternate key? I have told you that in this column there are three columns which are candidate key, which have the capability to become a candidate key. But in a table only one primary key can exist. A table can contain only and only one primary key. Then what about the rest of the candidate keys? These become alternate key. Why? Because these are the alternative to primary key. Okay. So we can say in this column ID, roll number, and registration number, three are candidate keys. But as a rule, we can make only one column, such as, for example, we want to make a primary key and we choose this ID as the primary key. Okay. Then the candidate key ID becomes primary key, and then the rest of two columns, roll number and registration number, which are the candidate keys but not a primary key. These are candidate keys, but these are not a primary keys. These are alternative keys of that primary key. Okay. Then we can say that the column or group of column in a table which have all the capabilities to become a primary key, but the these have all the capabilities to become a primary key, or these are the candidate key, but these are that candidate keys which are not primary keys. These are known as alternate keys. Example of alternate key. Here are the two columns: student ID and roll number. Both are the candidate key. We make the student ID as the primary key, and then the roll number becomes the alternate key. Okay. Now the foreign key. Foreign key is a column that creates the relationship between two tables. The purpose of foreign key is to maintain the data integrity and allow the navigation between two different instances of an entity. It acts as the cross-reference between the two tables, as it references the primary key of another table. Or we can say, in simple language, we can say that foreign key is the non-key attribute which derives its values from the primary key of master table. Okay, understand? I am repeating. Foreign key is the non-key attribute. Non-key attribute means it does not have a key in its own table. It is a column which contains the value which are not keys of its own table. So, foreign key is the non-key attribute which derives its value from the primary key of master table. It derives its value from the primary key of master table. That is, it derives its value from the primary key of another table, and it is used to link the two tables. Okay, it is known as foreign key. Then the table which contains the primary key is known as master table, and the table which contains the foreign key is known as child table. Okay, for example, we can see here, here is a table department and another table teacher id. Suppose there are two tables, department and teacher id. In a school there are several departments such as science, english, computer, etc, etc, etc. Okay, here is the department code for each department and the name of department. Here is the teacher's detail, such as teacher id, father's name and last name, etc. Okay, so if we want to see which teacher related to which department, then we did not have any information in this table. Okay, so if we added the department code in this teacher table, okay, if we add the department code in this teacher table, then we have the information that which teacher belongs to which department. Okay, then but there are such some foundations, such as this department code must contain the values from this department code of department table. No other value can come in the department code of teacher table which is not present in the department code. Okay, we will discuss this referential integrity soon. Okay, now I am telling you that if these are two tables, these are not sufficient to explain the information of the teacher, that which teacher belongs to which department. So if we add this department code in this teacher table, then it is sufficient to explain which department teacher belongs to which department. Okay, for example, in this table here are the information of teacher, teacher id, first name and last name, and we have added this department code in this table. Now this table is sufficient to inform about the teacher, give the information of the teacher, such as teacher B002, whose name is David Warner. He belongs to department number 002, and department number 002 means English department. He belongs to English department. Okay, so this is known as foreign key. Now this department code in this teacher table becomes a foreign key which is linked with the department code of this department table. Okay, so this is foreign key concept, and this is used to link the two tables. Okay, there are several rules which are used in which are used during making the foreign key. For example, we will these rules are known as referential integrity. Okay, now what is referential integrity? Referential integrity rules in DBMS are based on the primary and foreign key fields, and these rules defines that the foreign key have the matching primary key. Okay, reference means address. Reference from a table to another table should be valid. That is, these two addresses must be linked with each other. There are three rules of referential integrity. First one, we cannot put a value in a foreign key column if the corresponding value is not present in the linked primary key of master table. For example, we cannot put department code 010. Why? It is not present in this department table. Okay, so as department code in department table did not have the value 010, so we are unable to put department code 010 in the teacher table also. This is the first rule of referential integrity. Now the second rule of referential integrity, we cannot update the value in a primary key field if its corresponding value is present in the linked foreign key field. Example, we cannot, if you want to change 001, department code 001, if we want to change the department code of science as 010 instead of 001, then we cannot do. Why? Because it's present in the foreign key column also. So we cannot update it. Okay. Now the third rule is we cannot delete a value in primary key field if its corresponding value is present in the linked foreign key field of a child table. In the same manner as we have listened the second rule of the referential integrity, we cannot delete the code 002. Why? Because it is also present in the foreign key column 002. Okay, it is present in the foreign key column of teacher table, so we cannot delete it from the primary key of the department table, primary key department code of the department table. Okay, these are the three rules of referential integrity. And here is a graphical representation of several keys, such as this is the table of student containing the student ID, roll number, first name, last name, and email ID. So hence we can see that the student ID and roll number all have the unique values, and as well as the email also have the unique value. So these are the candidate keys, because it never contains the null value and never contains duplicate values. So all these keys have the capability to become a primary key. So these are the candidate key. Only one key we have to make a primary key because each table can contain only and only one primary key. So we make this student ID as primary key, then all the other candidate keys becomes alternate key. Okay, now this is the graphical representation of foreign key. This table, task table, and this one is the project table. Task table contains the several columns, which also contain one column project name. Here in the project table, project name is here is also present the project name, which acts as a foreign key. We can see that in task table, project name contains a unique value, and so we have make it the primary key column, or the candidate key, and it is linked with the project. It is linked with the project table, and contains the same values as present in the task table. So this is the graphical representation of foreign key. I hope you have understand better. That's for today. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.